I live in Washington, Georgia. I was raised in a little small country town about 5 minutes from here. So I'm a country girl, raising up on gardens, cutting grass, and all that good stuff. After I graduated from high school, I attended Georgia College in Millersville, Georgia. My health condition goes back to when I was 18 years old. First year in college, I got sick, but I did not know what was wrong with me. So I said, if I can just get home to my mama would cure me, make me feel better. But on the week of finals, they took me to the emergency room. When I walked into the emergency room, I did collapse. I did not know I was a diabetic.
The number of end-stage kidney disease people, which are called ESKD now, are almost 600,000 in the country. So what causes kidney disease? Most commonly diabetes, hypertension, and then you have inherent kidney diseases. Most often they are what we call a catastrophic start, in which they have not known or they've known but haven't paid attention, and one day they walk into the ER. That is like the story in almost 60-70% of patients.
I have been on dialysis for 15 years and 6 months. I started dialysis August the 5th of 2005. It's been a journey because when I first started dialysis, I was sick, not realizing how sick I was, but I had all the toxins in the body. So my body had to get used to the dialysis, the schedule going in.
My mama started dialysis when I was 12. I was the week before my 12th birthday. 2 kids, me and my brother, we used to be like, what is it? Because it's dialysis. Like, we thought, like, is mama dying?
We aren't created to be in renal failure. It ages our bodies, prematurely. And, dialysis is a lifesaver. Prior to the advent of dialysis, everybody in renal failure died.
It's not easy to be on dialysis. A lot of people do dialysis in center. They're hooked up to a machine for 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. Those who do it at home do it more frequently. So it's very disruptive to a person's life. It comes with its own challenges. You need hope to get through that, to deal with being hooked up to a machine 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. It basically takes up your entire day. And I think people really need hope to know that that's not your only option, to be stuck to a machine. You can get transplanted and live a normal life.
So I represent all the dialysis patients, and throughout that 15 and a half years, I've seen a lot of them come and go. I see a lot of them come in, don't have family, and it's nothing wrong with you just going over and saying, hey, how you doing? It's gonna be all right, you're gonna get through this. I'm a living testimony. I've been through this for 15 plus years. You'll make it. But once you start your dialysis treatments and once they get it going real good, you're gonna feel 100% better. And that is the truth. After 6-7 months, I started to breathing better, walking better.
So I've been trying to get my mom to get this transplant for the past few years. It's just, when the timing was right.
So my social worker at DaVita said, well, let's try Charleston. And she did the paperwork and everything. And then they called me a few weeks later.
The way that we are utilizing our virtual platform for our kidney transplant patients is that their initial visit is actually through a video conference with a provider. And in that initial video conference, we get the health history, we learn about them, we learn about their time on dialysis, and then their overall care. At that time, we generate what we call a homework list, meaning the testing that patients are going to need in order to be brought to selection conference. And following their final visit here in Charleston and all of their completed testing, a decision is made whether or not to list them on the kidney transplant wait list.
It's convenient for patients. We find that the no-show rates are much lower since we go with this approach. But maybe more importantly, it really levels the playing field, and we found that we have a lot more people that would normally struggle to make it to Charleston up front, but they can get on for a virtual appointment. There are another group of patients too that are intimidated by the process and are kind of interested but not quite sure if they want to proceed or not. And I found that with the virtual visit too that we can talk them through the process a little bit and assure them, yeah, you are a candidate and this is the next steps you need to do, and give them a little bit of encouragement. And we found that we have, one, more patients that participate in the virtual platform up front, and then secondly, more people that are completing the process. And then thirdly, the time frames are significantly shortened too. We're able to see people for that first visit quicker. We have patients that are completing their required medical testing, what we refer to as their homework, in a more expeditious fashion. And they're making it from referral to selection conference in a much shorter time frame than we had in our prior system.
The fact that she can sit here and participate in these telehealth sessions is absolutely amazing. It saves on gas, it saves on time. I like when the healthcare system is getting more involved with electronic ways of doing things, because the doctor can pull up everything that they need to pull up right there. It's really not a need for a point-to-point conversation unless there's actually something going on. So it's been very beneficial with time, and she can get excited and don't have to worry about stressing of how I'm going to get there, who's going to drive me, how long is it going to be there. Because Charleston's 3.5 hours away, and that's a 7-hour trip, and then you have to think about hotel because you probably can't make it in one day.
They said that we accept you on the transplant. You've been added to the transplant list. Oh, it made me feel overwhelming because 15 years and 6 months on dialysis, and now I said, oh, I'm just 51 years old. Now I can live again. I've always been living, but I can really adjust to living the new me. I was just glad to be accepted on the transplant list, so now I just wait for that phone call whenever it comes. I hope to hear from you real soon.
Yes, ma'am. It's been so nice to talk to you. Thank you.